Hi there, my name is Aisha Chaudhry and I am a mindset and a happiness coach. Particularly right now, I'm sure many of you, like myself, work in an environment which involves interacting with others. So along with working as a coach at home in front of the screen, I can talk to who I want to, when I want to. But aside from that, I work in a law firm, and so I've noticed, because people are starting to come back to work, how people are feeling. And it's a bit like breathing when you're feeling a little like your air is a little blocked. People are not comfortable with it. So rather than dwell on that, because there are reasons that people are not comfortable with it, I wanted to provide some tips on what I've been doing to adjust back into the workplace, to make it a little bit more comfortable for myself and maybe even my colleagues. Because generally, I don't know about you, but I've found people find coming back to work has been a little bit tricky and awkward in terms of how to be and how to feel. I live in Berlin in Germany, so I don't know how things are where you are, but what I can say is that the routine tends to go along the way of don't go into offices when there's more than one person, put your mask on. If you're walking into a new room, make sure there's a window open. And these are all things to do with setting up the environment that you're in. So what I wanted to do was just actually talk a little bit about that and give you some tips so that you can see what I do. And maybe it will help you in some ways to be a little bit more comfortable in your workspace, wherever that is. Some of these tips are to do with your environment, and some of them are to do with what I do to make myself feel more at ease, because having spent, more than a year away from being in the usual surroundings of people, things have really changed a lot. So here we go, in no particular order. When I wake up in the morning, actually, before I even do that, let me just backtrack one step. To prepare to go to work in the morning, I actually shut my curtains so that it's pretty much blackout, and I try not to have my sleep disturbed by factors like light. And this means when I wake up, I feel a little bit more refreshed than I otherwise would. When I finally get to work, it's after having listened to some upbeat music, which is completely and nothing to do with the world and the news of what we hear today in general social media, because I intentionally do that as a distraction. And I want this distraction because once I enter the workspace, it is really just work. When I go into the office, I do go around and say good morning to people. And they stop and say hello, or just raise their head and say hello. But it's very much a work. So there's not much chit chat going on, and I have my mask on. When I get into the office, my own office, my door, I open it, make sure that the window's open, get some air going in there, and try to create a bright environment and not sort of one that's been sat for 24 hours with the door closed, with the dust of files, just dust settling onto the files. So I try to create a space which is bright, where I can breathe well. And then I just look around me and I check and see, do I have water? Because I want to keep hydrated. Do I have my chair at the right position? And am I in a spot where if someone does come in, I feel comfortable? And by that I mean, is my door open or closed? Is it slightly ajar? These things all seem to matter, because these days when colleagues do turn up at my door or I turn up at their door, I'm supposed to stay outside. But now that we're gradually going back into work, it's been decided or permitted that we can be in the same room but with masks on if we've been vaccinated. So I don't know if people have or haven't, but the idea is to think about creating an environment for yourself. If that means bringing in a plant, because actually you can talk to them and stroke them and even water them, it's like a step away from sitting at your desk where you're just, looking at your screen, doing your work, picking up the phone, talking to people. But sometimes having things with colour make you feel good. I'm a colour person, so I do like to have something of colour in the office that's natural and from nature. So I have a few plants in there. So I would encourage anyone, if they have the enthusiasm or money, to just invest in a little pot plant, because these sorts of things put a smile on your face. Also, family-wise, I don't know, everybody's different with what they're allowed to do with bringing in personal items, But if there's something that makes you think back about a place that you were happy or have a happy memory, like whether it's a photograph or a picture from a holiday, bring that in, put it on your desk or in your drawer or even on your phone. And just also don't forget, these people are thinking of you too. So if you're finding that being at work is slightly uncomfortable, just go to your comfort zones, of which remind yourself of the people that you love to see and are surrounded by in your private life. Take a look at that photo and just spend a few moments doing that in your lunch break or things like that. Speaking of lunch breaks, without doubt, I can say pretty much every single day during the whole lockdown, I have been getting up and having a lunch break away from my desk. Why? Because it's healthy. I can tell you for sure, when I sit at my desk for 8 hours, my legs feel thick at the end of the day. And I'm not like a super fit person, but I'm also not like a chumpy chump. I'm kind of something in between. So I do need to move, and it's probably a little bit to do with age as well. So I would invite and encourage all of you watching this, listening, because this is about well-being at work, to get up, walk around the office, or go outside, get some fresh air, take a break for half an hour, and move. I'm not saying like run or go on a jog unless you want to. These days it's a little bit difficult to do that during a lunch break, but go out, look outside, get some fresh air, breathe that amazing, wonderful air. Even if it's raining, it's kind of got that rustic smell sometimes to it. But be good to yourselves, because it's a strange time that we're going through, this adjustment. We don't all feel comfortable with it. So when you go outside, switch off, make yourself do it. Even if it means taking an umbrella or a rain jacket or winter boots, just be good to yourself, because nature's out there. Nature's not going anywhere. At least the sky's not going anywhere. The daylight will come and go. Weather will change. It will rain. It will snow. It will be sunny. But the sky will always be there. Which brings me to the next point. If you look up and you're feeling a bit uncomfortable or awkward at work and you go out for a walk, look up into that sky and know that you are not alone with feeling strange. Lots of other people are too. And when I say feeling strange, it's because we're getting used to back being around others. And having not done that for such a long time, just simple things like how to be. There's this kind of awkwardness that sometimes forms, not with everyone, but certainly with some people. When you're walking past people on the street, usually you'd make eye contact, give a little nod. But with all these masks that we've been wearing, we can't see that. So you have to smile through your eyes, because that's where people see kindness. So those are the sorts of things I'm thinking of that you could do. What else? If I'm at my desk and I've got a feeling that a conversation that's taking place isn't quite going to my liking, I usually actually address the person directly and say, listen, is the person that you're talking about here to defend themselves or not? And if the answer is no, I actually literally get up and I walk out of the room. And the reason I do that is because I don't really like the environment to be a negative one. And I have this kind of rule with my wonderful colleague, actually, that we only try to create a positive space in the environment in our room that we sit in. But more, if you extend that further out, if you find that people are coming into your space who are generally a bit negative, there's nothing to stop you taking control of the environment and the room that you're in, because it's your office, to stand up and literally walk past them. And if they want to have a conversation and continue to have it in a negative space or about somebody that's not great, walk with them if they want. But it doesn't have to be in your office, if that's possible. I'm just telling you what I do. Of course, I don't know what it's like where you are, but these are the things I do to make it slightly more comfortable or less uncomfortable. I also try to drink regularly, so I have 2 litres of water at work in a bottle, and I try to make it my mantra not to go home until I have finished them. When I go home, obviously I continue to drink a little bit more, but it's really, really important to keep hydrated, because you can think a bit more clearly when you are hydrated. And when you're not hydrated, then you can actually end up sitting in the same position with your legs crossed in a very odd sort of position for a really, really long time. And that's just not good for anyone. They say like sitting is the new form of cancer. Call it what you want. We are able to move more or less some people are less able-bodied than others. So if you can't manage to do something regularly, do what you can manage, and that's enough. That's enough. That's really, really important. So there you go. There are some tips for you. I hope they've been helpful. And as I said, my name's Aisha. I'm a mindset coach, and I wish you a good introduction for going back to work so that you can create a well-being space that's good for you. Bye.